Welcome to episode 84 of the Passionate Spinner podcast. My name is Tracy. You can find me as Schnüffeltier on Ravelry and Instagram. There's a Ravelry group for this podcast. Please come over and join. And thank you so much for being here. So I'm a bit out of breath right now. I'm not sure why. Just walked up the stairs and came back down. I'm not that unfit. But yeah, okay. Let's start. What I'm wearing today is my Knitting in the Past. It is the hoodie shawl cardigan. The pattern is by Susanne Sommer, because she's German. The yarn that I used is Drops Alpaca in 3 different colors. It's a very dark royal purple, natural creamy color, and this burnt orange. I knit this cardigan on 3.5mm needles. That's a US 4. It's the needle that's called for. And I did it in a size 38, which is what I have. And yeah, let me tell you, until maybe half an hour ago, I thought that I would have to give this cardigan to my sister, who's quite a bit smaller in every direction than I am. Because the way this is constructed, and it's in the name, you start out by knitting basically a shawl. And the edge of the shawl is here, and it is very restricting the stretchiness of the garment. So the cardigan itself is very, very tight around the shoulders because here there's just no give. But I think I can wear it. It's not uncomfortably tight, so I think I'm good. So this is what it looks like. I'm gonna try to show you the back. This is what it looks like from behind with the hood. I think it turned out great. I love the colors. I changed a few things about it. Color-wise, I knit everything according to pattern except for the colors, because the way this is written, I think it's supposed to work out so you only have to use 1 skein of fingering weight yarn of 3 colors, 1 skein each. And I didn't like that for my version, because my version, the original version, has like what is orange on my cardigan should only be in the body and not be repeated in the sleeves. And I just didn't like the look of that, because my sleeves should have been white according to pattern, and I just decided to not do that. So I did them orange as well, and did the exact same border on the cuff than is around the whole cardigan, and I'm quite happy that I changed that. I think it looks perfect. It's very warm. It's 100% alpaca. Drops Alpaca is supposedly a sport weight, and I personally feel like it knits up like a light fingering weight. It's so thin, and it's still so warm. I'm sweating to death right now. But I'm gonna leave it on because it's pretty, so I'm gonna suffer. Okay. The other thing that I knit this week, and that almost killed me, I have to say, were face cloths, because I've decided to take better care of me and my environment. So I did knit face cloth, and I wove in the ends on all but 8. Still have to weave in the ends on these, but these are all woven in. And let me tell you, knitting with cotton in that weight, I can't do it. My arms still hurt. My elbow is giving me problems right now, and I think it's all because of these. So the yarn that I used is Sugar and Cream. I bought it at Walmart in the US when I was over there for Christmas, for vacation. I had 3 skeins, 2 multicolor and 1 of the naturals. I just decided, you know what, I'm going to use those up, and I'm going to use them all up now, because otherwise I would have 1 skein left. So I just used all of them, and I cast on 15 stitches, knit 14 garter ridges, and bound off. So I ended up with this size, and some people will say, "Oh, that's quite small for a washcloth," but I only want these for my face. And my plan is to basically use it 1 day and put it in a wash. That's why I made 25 of them. So I have a few. So yeah, I ended up being able to make 8 of these from 1 skein of yarn, and then 8 of these, and then 8 of this natural stuff, and just 1 with all the leftovers. So these will be in use by tonight. I'm very excited about it. I know but you know, it's good for the environment because I don't have to use stuff that I'm going to throw away. I'm going to use these that I put in the wash, and that's just so much better. And yes, there is a cat on the windowsill. And because it's so white out, and he is basically white with black dots, you can only see black dots, and it looks a bit freaky. Merlin. See? There's a face. It's a real cat. So yeah, that's what I finished this week. I knit those, like, did I say that? On US 9s. No, not 9s. 7s. 4.5 millimeter needles. And I'm very happy that they are done. And I did weave in the ends of like 15 of those yesterday. And that already started to hurt my hands. Because there is just no give in this stuff. Right? Yeah. It's not really working for me. So I'm very happy that I'm rid of the yarn now that I used it all up. Good. Now that's it for knitting in the past. For knitting in the present, I have two things. One new, one old. If you don't know, I love Harry Potter. And September 1st was last week. Yes, it was. And September 1st is the day where the Hogwarts Express leaves King's Cross Station, you know, for the new school year. And this year was super special because it was not only Back to Hogwarts Day, which is, you know, 1st of September, but it was also the 19 years later day. So if you in any way have read or listened to or watched Harry Potter, you know that in the end, when the story is over, there's a jump and it says 19 years later. And Harry, Ron, and Hermione take their kids to the Hogwarts Express. And as the original story ends in 1998, the 19 years later was like last week. So all of Harry Potter is now in the not in the future. It's now history. You know, it's in the past. So that was a very, very special day for me because, you know, I love Harry Potter. And I took out some of my Harry Potter yarn, not all of it, some of it. And I decided on 2 skeins to keep out and wind up. One is still upstairs. I'm going to make a pair of socks for my husband. The other one is this one here. It's Gryffindor colors because I am a Gryffindor. And I decided, as this is, where's the thing? I have the thing. It's 100% superwash merino. And I have not had very good experiences, is that a word, with 100% superwash merino for socks. I decided to not knit socks. The yarn is from Sunset Stitches. I got it in a club because I was in quite a few of her clubs. At least 2 Harry Potter ones, and I think 3 or 4 Hobbit ones. I have a lot of her yarn. I actually do not know if she's still around. I have to find out. But yeah, what I decided to do is just knit a long tube with 60 stitches. I just cast on. I didn't do a provisional cast on. I'm gonna weave I'm gonna sew it together in the end and make a gigantic loop. And yeah, I wasn't too happy with it because these stripes are super slim, like super slim. It's only 2 rows. It's 2 rows per color, but it grows on me. Every time I touch it, it grows on me. I was contemplating ripping it out when I had just a bit done and do fingerless mitts instead or arm warmers, but I'm very hot and not in a, ooh, look at me, I'm so hot, but more in a, oh my God, I'm sweating to death hot way. So when I'm already very warm, I don't need arm warmers made out of wool. It's just not, no. So I decided to do a loop instead because I can deal with that easier and I'm going to use it way more often. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm working on it. I have a lot to go because I'm going to knit until I run out of yarn. I'm knitting this on 3.5 millimeter needles. That's a US 4 because I'm such a tight knitter and I just want this to be nice and soft and airy and flowy. And looking at it, my stitches on these needles are still smaller than my mom's stitches when she knits on 2.5 millimeter needles for her socks. It's a bit frustrating. But yeah, this is coming along nicely. It's my, I don't want to think about anything knit. So that's perfect. The other thing is the Double Trouble Cardigan by Vera Valimaki. It's this one here from Interpretations Volume 4. last time when I podcasted, I showed you the finished back. And I do have now a finished front. So, just as a reminder, here's the back with the 2 sleeves, half sleeves attached. So, okay, you already seen this. And now I have the left front and sleeve done. It's like this. It's garter stitch. Super simple. But it's my hand spun and it's very, very soft. It's going to be super warm because I used up all of the 500 grams that I had for the back. So this is going to be very heavy and very warm. So yeah, the second piece is done. It's the first front. And I barely just started the other front and sleeve. And it looks like this so far. It's knit on US 9s. That's 5.5 millimeter needles. I'm using the Clover interchangeables, which are very pointy, I have to say. Considering that the Clover DPNs are very blunt, these are super sharp. And this is the yarn. Like I said, it's my hand spun. It's one of my earlier ones. It's very poofy and floofy. And I'm very excited to use it, first of all, because knitting with handspun is just special. And this cardigan will get a lot of love. And it's not really, I don't call it a cardigan. It's more like a jacket because I don't want to wear it like this one here, just over a t-shirt. I want to wear it when I go outside to keep warm, you know. So yeah. And I keep it in this gigantic project bag that my friend, the Stitchinista, made for me a long time ago. For my 30th birthday. That was a while ago. So now let's clear everything off here. For knitting in the future, I have one thing as well, because I'm very much in a sweater mood and all I want to knit is sweaters. And you know, I showed all my sweater plans last week and I accumulated some more. One very one to cast on right now one. And it is the Mint Lotus by Annie Lupton. I've knit a sweater from hers this year already and I love it. So this one here is knit out of a light fingering or lace weight. And I'm trying to find a pattern where you can see the front. Yeah, here we go. There's a picture where you can see. So this is what I'm want to knit. And I decided to use this yarn. It's Wollmeise lace. The colorway name is Puderdöschen, which is like compact powder thingy. There's a gigantic hair on it. The color is not coming across. It's a very dusky pink. And I very much love it. I think this is going to be perfect for this. So yeah, this is a new sweater plan because, you know, the 25 things I have put aside aren't enough. So I have to have one more. And also I am going to get started on my husband's Christmas sweater very soon because I'm a crazy person. And I decided to knit a sweater for my gigantic husband who is, you know, he's very tall and he has very wide shoulders. He used to be a swimmer, so yeah, there's a lot of shoulder and back to dress. And I'm going to knit him the dude, you know, Big Lebowski. Yeah, that sweater, that iconic sweater, there's a pattern for it on Ravelry. It's a free pattern. I bought some yarn. I'm gonna get started on that sometime soon because, you know, it's gonna be big. So I better get started and I don't want him to see it. So I can only work on it when he's either gone for work or just somewhere else. So yeah, that's my other plan. I'm gonna show that when I started. So I have spinning. It's still something I think I showed before. I'm still working on Godric's Hollow. It says fiber from Into the World from her club. I got this as a gift from my wonderful friend Sadie. And this is all I have left. I'm working on a second half of this spin right now. And this is the first half finished. I went for quite thin. If it would focus, you could see. So yeah, it's quite thin because I want to make the close to you shawl out of this. Just because I think that's a good idea. I got the fiber from a wonderful friend that I wish would live closer. So I'm gonna knit the close to you shawl out of this. And it's gonna be finished hopefully very soon. Good. Whew. I'm rushing, I know, but my friend will be here in like half an hour and have to be done by then. So sorry. Okay, new stuff. Talking about my friend. You know, the wonderful dyer behind Kunterbunte Wolle. She's gonna be here. And last time she was here, she left me some yarn. And it's gorgeous. So I got 2 new sweater quantities of her yarn. This is the first one. It's okay, let's do this like this. These 3 and these 2. So this is 1 sweater quantity. I do have to alternate between those 4 skeins here because they're a bit different, and this is supposed to go for all the ribbing, but I'm not sure if I want to do that because I have an idea. I could use this and make a vest and use the red skein for a hat. And you know, it's not only beautiful yarn, but it is 50% yak and 50% silk. It's a DK weight, 300 meters per skein, and it's just glorious. So this is a especially dyed for me colorway in my favorite autumnal shades. And then the other one is this one. Very different, you know. That doesn't really scream Tracy, but I love it. I had it in my hands so many times that I just decided, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna use this. So yeah, and I almost decided on knitting the grandpa cardigan by Joji Locatelli out of this. I think that would be amazing. So yeah, here we go. 2 new sweater quantities, yak and silk. This is so soft. I already love it. Yeah, 2 more sweaters that I want to knit like right now. It will happen. It will very soon. So yeah, that's from my friend Sandra. Her stuff is amazing. Go to her Etsy shop and buy everything, because if you don't, I have to, and I don't want to because I have so much stuff. Now, the other thing, when I went and got the yarn for my husband's sweater, I had ordered it online and I wasn't too happy with one of those 3 colors. So I went to the manufacturer. It's my mom's local yarn shop, actually. It's called Fischerwolle. It's one of the biggest yarn shops in Germany, I think. It's gigantic. And they do have their own yarn line, and I got their yarn for the sweater. And when we were there, my son was with me, and he told me that he wanted to have socks out of this. You know, I put him in front of a shelves and said to him, you know what, you can pick 1 color, I'm going to make socks for you out of it. And this is a 50-gram skein, so it's only, you know, it's enough for kids' socks. And he went for this one. So I'm going to knit socks for my son out of this very soon. And then I have 2 books to share. The first off, well, it's not a book, it's a magazine. Pom Pom Quarterly. I got the fall issue. The last one, the anniversary issue. I love everything. In this one here, you know, yeah, I do like some things in here, but it doesn't scream to me like the other ones did. I really like this sweater. That's my favorite pattern from it. But yeah, there are nice things in here. I always love Pom Pom magazine, you know, but some magazines are just more me than others, and this is just one of the others. And it's okay. I don't mind. The other thing I got is this thing here. It's the Strickplaner 2018. The knitting planner for 2018. And this has been made, produced, dreamt, come to life from Martina Behm. You know, the person who did the hitchhiker pattern. Everyone knows her. And I ordered one because I wanted to, you know, be able to see if it is any good. And I really like it. The best thing about this planner, and I did not realize that before, is that this planner is the basic planner itself is the planner that I have used before and that I loved. So that's a good thing. It's basically a normal planner, you know, with your normal planning pages like this. But like this is the paper in the front. And then there are pages where you can just put in creative goals, personal goals, stuff like that. And there's the whole planner thingy. And after the planner ends, you know, after week 52, it starts with the actual knitting thing. Was glaubst du, was du tust? Merlin. Ja, du kannst jetzt nicht hier sein. So, the actual knitting thing starts after the planner. So you can write down your knitting tools, ideas and projects, a overview where you could put your project and like mark down when you started and when you finished and all of these things. But to be honest, this is not enough space for half a year of planning or writing down what I've knit, because I knit a bit more than that. Then you can write down knitting ideas. What could I want? What could I want? What could I knit out of stuff that I have? You can write it down, like, you know, there's my knitting idea. And I can write down the name of the pattern, the designer, the source, and the yarn. And then there's knitting projects where you can, you know, basically write all of these things down and write down some notes. Merlin. Merlin. Nicht. Schau jetzt das Langquinch. Danke. Then, you know, there you can write down your yarn purchases. I'm not going to do that. That's going to shock me. You can write down a wish list, things that you want to have. Then there's an list index. So there are a bunch of pages where you just can write down lists. And I love lists. And there's the index, so you can check and see which of your lists, like list number 1 is about that. List number 15 is about that. And then, of course, place for a lot of space for your lists. Then there's place for your notes. They're also numbered with an index. Then you can write down contact information when you're out and about and meet people, which, you know, some people go out of their house every now and then. And yeah, that's it. In the end, there's a little bit of advertisement, but not a lot. The most important one is this one here. And yeah, that's it. And in the back, there's a ruler, metric and inches, and you have the knitting needle conversions. This book comes in 2 different languages. I decided to get the English version, although I am German, and I do know that. But my whole crafting life, knitting, sewing, quilting, spinning, everything that I do takes place in English. I knit from English patterns, you know, when there's, like when I did this one here, she's a German designer. So you have the option of downloading a German version of the pattern. I never do that. I always use the English one because I'm so used to it by now, because it's all I ever do. So I did get this one in English because, you know, I would have to, it takes so much more of my mind to convert the language in my head first to English, because that's what I have to do. And yeah, that's what I got in English, but you can get it in German as well. It's 18 euros and like it's almost 19 euros and shipping. And also she included that sheet of little stickers that are all crafting related. So I really like it. I'm very happy that I got it, especially because it is already the planner that I love so much. So, you know, it's like my 2 favorite things combined, the best planner I ever had and my crafting. So I'm very, very happy about this. Good. That's it for new stuff. I do not have an indie of the week, but, you know, kind of seems like my friend is my indie of the week every week. So Go check her out. Now for reading, listening, watching, it's all about Harry Potter. I started rereading the book series. I hope you cannot hear the church bells. I'm pretty sure you can, because it's like, I'm not sure why, but they don't stop at the moment. I'm sorry. So back to the book. I started rereading Harry Potter, and I'm of course still on the first book because I don't read all that much lately, but I do read, and I'm very happy about that. And I also finished listening to the third, The Prisoner of Azkaban, the German audiobook narrated by Felix von Manteuffel. It's the first time listening to his version. I have listened to the Rufus Beck version like 20 times. It's the best. Apart from Stephen Fry, of course, because Stephen Fry is just heavenly as a audiobook narrator. So yeah, Harry Potter, it's all I have on my mind right now. Sewing. I have 2 FOs for sewing. First of all, I finished a Harry Potter skirt because, you know, I used this pattern here. It's New Look 6191. This is the version that I made. It is in the German Simplicity Sewing magazine from number 3, 2014. It's a bit an older pattern, but I mean, it's an almost circle skirt, so those patterns don't change all that much over the years. And here it is. It's finished. I like it a lot. I have to say, I did make this in a size, what size did I make? 44. According to my measurements, that should have been too small. Because, you know, according to magazines, I'm way bigger than I actually am. So, this is a German 44, which should be okay. And this is intended to be worn like quite a between your waist and your hips, which for me basically means that this thing is like scooping up and down all the time. And I do not like that. So what I will do is I'm going to make another one out of different fabric, of course. I'm going to wear this. It's wearable. It doesn't slide down, you know, so I'm good. But I'm going to make another one in one size smaller and put it in my waist instead of having it somewhere in between. I think that's a good idea. I'm going to try that. What I changed is I added in a quite large pocket in the side seam, and you can't see it really because I used the same fabric and I understitched it. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see the understitching. So I made sure that it would just stay in. I used contrasting fabric for the waistband facing because, you know, I didn't have enough. And that's about it. That's all I changed. For the hem, I originally wanted to add a lace on the bottom. And I told that to my husband. It's like, look, I finished my skirt. Now, what do you think? Should I add that lace? It's this lace. This lace here. And he looked at me and said, you know, I love her skirt. It's super fun. But if you add that lace, it's going to be like 20 years older. So it's going to look like it's your grandma's. So I decided to not add the lace at the bottom. And I didn't do anything fancy for the hem either. I just folded it over. You know, I overlocked it. I folded it over and sewed it down. Because it's not a full circle, which means it will not swing up. And you cannot see it. And it's a nice and neat, easy edge. So that's the first thing that I finished. And then, because I really am still in a finishing kick, I took out a UFO. I started the next thing last year, right around this time. We decided to go to Ireland for a few days, and I wanted to, you know, like last minute make a coat. Because, yeah. So it didn't happen. Of course it didn't happen. But it was laying here, all pieces cut out, everything overlocked. It just had to assemble the thing. And that's what I did this week. It is from a German sewing magazine called Diana Moden Nähstyle Nummer 61. It's this one here. If you're not in Germany, you cannot have this. I'm very sorry. But this is the coat. This one here. I really liked it. And I decided to, you know, I'm going to make this. And very coincidentally, mine is red as well. But I'm going to try and show it to you. So here it is. This is my coat. The fabric was a gift from my friend Ushi. She destashed it and just said, you know what, just take it. And I said, oh, okay. So she gifted me the fabric. So the fabric was for free. The zipper came in a mix pack that I ordered from Butinette. And at the time when I got it, I was like, oh my God, what the hell am I going to do with this zipper? It's like enormous. It's like super heavy, very thick, very long. I'm never going to use this. And then this pattern came along and the zipper is the perfect length. I mean, it's perfect. Can you see that? Perfect. The pattern itself, super simple. There's no lining. There's nothing fancy. What I, of course, botched is the top of the zipper. I'm going to show that to you in a second. And what I had to do, because, you know, I cut this last year and I didn't measure. I just thought, you know, it's a coat. It's going to be fine. I had to add my butt triangles to make enough room, like I did with the birdcage jacket that I just finished a few weeks ago. And I used up the last little bits of fabric. This is why this fabric here, the patterning of the fabric goes in a different direction, but you can only tell if you really look very closely. And my friend just arrived, so I'm gonna have to hurry. And yeah, I added the pockets like I showed. Oh, this is important. I just wore it because, you know, I had a haircut and I just wore this. And yeah, so the thing that I did not get right is right here. Can you see? I don't mind because this goes up to my chin and you cannot tell. You can't see that. So I just don't care. I think it turned out amazing. Super simple, super easy. It has a drop shoulder. Yeah. So that's my coat. It's done. I love it. The next thing I'm going to make is a pair of pants because the last pants were so awful. I'm just going to try again. And yeah, I think that's it. I do not have anything for cross stitch. I do not have weaving. I have only one thing for everything else, and that is a big fat giant thank you for being here, for watching my podcast, and for accepting me for who I am. I do realize that I'm not like I'm not like everyone else, you know. I'm very me. I'm very me on this podcast, and I do not fit in with the cool kids, and I'm good with that. You know, I'm very happy with that, actually. Yeah, I am. So yeah, thank you for being here and for accepting me the way I am, for not trying to make me be different, for not being mean. That's a good thing, you know. And yeah. I'm sorry, I'm weird. That's just the way it is. I hope you all have a wonderful week. I will talk to you again very soon. Not next week, because, you know, it's like 10 days or so. And until then, enjoy everything you do. Bye.